welcome to Chapter 4 of Banking. This is a pretty quick, relatively easy chapter. Hopefully you've all been introduced to checking or checking account or using money on a daily basis. But some important things to pay attention to, since there's not too many calculations in this chapter, is the terms for the exam. So just be familiar with ATM, your debit card, or your check card is what we call them. What is a check, and we'll kind of walk through the parts of a check, as well as the stub and the register. The three types of endorsement: you have your blank, your full, and then your restrictive. Electronic transfer funds, non-sufficient funds, what the acronyms mean, your credit memo, your debit memo, as well as what happens when you do a credit or a debit to your account, to your checking account. Does that increase or does that decrease? And when you credit to your account, it's a deposit, so it increases your account. And when you debit, you actually withdraw, so it decreases your account amount. When you look at a check, which is becoming a little bit less common to use on a daily basis because of the debit card, as well as electronic online payments. But basically you have your name, and if it's a company, your address as well, your date, and then your check number will be up here. Now what's interesting is when you write the amount, so you have pay to who, and you write it to Acme or Best Buy or whoever we'll buy it to, purchase something from. I write my amount here. What's interesting is I also have to put my number here. Now by law, this is the amount that the bank should use. So if you want to mess up anything, mess up that amount. But when you write checks, make sure this equals that. Then it'll have your bank name, and then just a memo so you can remember what it is for. Oh, January's rent. So that way I knew I paid the rent. The numbers at the bottom below it is always going to be your routing number, which is the bank number, and then your account number, which is your specific account. And then you have to sign your check at the end that says, hey, this is valid. Now, if this check was written to me, I could have three types of endorsements, which is the blank, which is I can just sign my name at the end, or if it's full, it says, you know, I sign my name or the company's account, and then the account number, and then restrictive is for deposit only, and so you put, you know, Will Overly, account number this, for deposit only. Now, one other thing that they talked about in this chapter was bank reconciliation, and the 5 steps to it. First, you want to make sure that even though you might have some purchases in transit or they're kind of in flux, you always want to make sure that your bank account and what you have in your checkbook kind of match up, and you should be able to do that by doing the bank reconciliation. So you ID your outstanding checks, then you identify those deposits that are still in transit that may not have all the way gone through. Then you analyze the bank statement for transactions that weren't in your check stub or your register. So if you forgot to write a check but you see that you have a check missing, you can look at their ID on the online of your bank account. You need to always check for numbers, or not just numbers, but errors, to make sure your numbers add up, and then you complete the bank reconciliation. So homework, there's only 4 problems. It shouldn't be too difficult, as if you're setting up your own bank reconciliation for your own home check. So go through those problems. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thanks. Take care.